Is 2026's Pretty Lethal on point?
Or straight up off balance? Find out next on the cutting room floor.
Dun, 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 dun. Pretty toes. Dun, dun, dun,
What's up, Misfits and Metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And today we are talking about Pretty Lethal, an Amazon Prime original, so you're not gonna find it anywhere else. But first, don't forget, we have a new music video and a show this coming Saturday. That's right, this video drops Friday, so the show is tomorrow in New York City. Come check our band out. Rose, why don't we dive into this, and why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Well, Pretty Lethal is a very interesting movie. It's about a group of ballerinas that are on their way to their big performance in Europe. Unfortunately, their vehicle breaks down, so they end up at a remote inn on the Hungarian countryside.
I don't know if AAA works in Hungary.
I don't think it does. And this, unfortunately, leads to a cataclysmically bad set of events that result in them having to fight vis-a-vis a bunch of Hungarian mobsters. Very fun. If you were hoping to see crazy ballerina battles, this is the one for you. I myself have, we have both actually trained in ballet. That was actually part of our circus training.
Her way more than me.
Yeah. And let me tell you, ballet is an incredibly difficult art. Ballet is the art of making, all of these like movements that are very complex and take a lot of physical control and, and making it look effortless and beautiful, much like circus is, and the reason why we had to train in ballet is because they want you to have those elegant, beautiful lines when you are performing your acrobatics, not to have, like, if you see, like, for example, it's the difference between seeing a Cirque du Soleil artist and a calisthenics dude that can do a couple of tricks. Yeah, it's impressive that they have that physical strength, but are they doing it with any kind of grace? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not a pointed toe to be seen, and it's slappy. I don't like it.
Ballet definitely, ballet and circus, I see how ballet ties in with the circus because it's such extreme body control over every part of your body at any given time. It translates really well.
Yeah, so one of the things that the writer of this film, her name is Kate Frond, and she actually was a dancer, and she was interested in the idea that really the physiological changes that occur in a dancer's body are actually very similar to the a martial artist. So she became enthralled with this idea, because it's like, it's really very similar because you have to get this endurance, you have to get a really high pain tolerance. You have to have a high level of flexibility.
Sure enough.
So she was envisioning this idea of like, everybody looks at ballet in general, is made, everything, all of your movements are made to look delicate and beautiful and light, as if you're just one of the things that they teach you is when you're doing your hand movements is make it as if there is a butterfly resting on your fingers and you don't want to crush it. So you're trying to make your hand look as delicate and beautiful in that movement as you can, and to show all of your fingers and different things like that. So I thought that was very interesting, the idea of like, how is a ballerina similar to a fighter? And if they were in a situation where they really had to fend for themselves, would they be able to?
So I would see ballerinas taking up Taekwondo and being absolutely amazing.
Monsters. Like, they would be monsters if they did Taekwondo, for real.
Right? I think they would be untouchable. Like, if ballerinas went and did Taekwondo, just forget it.
That's a very good point.
You're gonna
because
have,
Taekwondo focuses so much on your legs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also...
And most ballerinas are very tall. Also.
They are.
Yeah.
And also, a woman's strongest asset is their legs
That's true.
too. So
Physically,
you
yeah.
add all of that up, and then you're going to have like I don't even know how many Chung Lees from Street Fighter running out there in the world. It's going to be crazy.
Oh
You're going to
man.
get hit in the face, and their hands are going to be in their pockets still. Like what just happened?
Oh,
Like did
excellent.
I just get kicked?
Did I just get what? How?
It's just a
How?
foot. Like,
What?
was that a foot?
So some of the other notable people in well, the most notable actually is Devora Casimir. She is the owner of this remote inn, and
who she played by?
and who is she played by? Well, Miss Kill Bill herself, Uma Thurman. So cool.
It was nice to see her. I haven't seen her in a little while. Actually,
I was like, yo, she looked kind of like Uma Thurman. You know, I was like, is this Uma Thurman? When I was like looking at the trailer, and I was like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure that is Uma Thurman. You know, I was totally not expecting like, you know, a movie. I was not expecting her to be in this movie at all. She's always delightful. It was great. She has a very stern Eastern European accent in this one, which is also quite enjoyable. And unfortunately, she is at the whim of these mobsters, you know, as she's running her in, and they decide to start some serious trouble for our dancers. Our dancers are played. These are the dancers. Real quick, there's 5 of them. Bones, who is like kind of like the main one that we're following. I mean, we're following them all really. It is an ensemble thing, but she's kind of like their leader-ish. Her name it is actually played by a real life dancer. Her name is Maddie Ziegler. She was the one she was in a bunch of videos for Sia, the one who sings the Chandelier song. She was in that video with Shia LaBeouf.
That weird one
the
with
ballet,
that, like,
the weird
kinda
ballet
cage
video
and
with the
the two
cage. Yes, yes,
people?
yeah, that's
okay.
Maddie Ziegler. So that's where she gained like, you know, some fame and stuff like that. Along with, I think she was also on a dancing show as well, like a Dance Moms kind of situation. So anyway, yeah, Maddie does an amazing job, and obviously, of course, because she is an actual professional dancer, she has some of the coolest moves that you see in here. All of these girls trained for 6 months. Doing ballet and also like weightlifting and like training and stuff like that. Like they basically put them into a hardcore, brutal boot camp for 6 months. And had them all kind of train together because they also wanted them to have like that camaraderie of common suffering that that dancers have, because
Extreme sports, dance,
you will be suffering.
That'll do it. Yep, that'll do it.
And so it was great actually seeing a bunch of the behind the scenes videos, and you see that there actually is a real genuine camaraderie between these actors, which was great. Aside from Bones, we've got Chloe. She's played by Millicent Simmons. She is the hearing impaired girl in A Quiet Place, which was it was cool to see her. And she also is a deaf character in this film as well. She advocated for it, which I thought was really cool. We've got Princess, who's played by Lana Condor. She grew up dancing actually, and she had kind of some trauma from growing up dancing. So she said this was actually, even though it brought up some old feelings, that it was actually very healing for her to kind of go back into dancing and to do it for this thing, you know, because I mean, that makes a lot of sense, because that is part of the theme of this, is that ballet is incredibly hard, and you're putting yourself under a lot of not only physical but mental stress. And that's kind of what these girls are going through, because they're like kind of like not really everybody wants to be the soloist, and they're kind of like bumping into each other, and they're kind of not gelling as well as they should. And they kind of learn how to work together through the terrible things that are happening around them, and they learn to depend on each other and to work together as a team.
Yeah, that's gonna bring a group together real quick when you have to. They don't have a choice anymore. So it's like, what are we gonna do, ladies?
And then we also have Grace, who's played by Avantika Vandanapu. She was in the Mean Girls reboot, and she is...
I haven't seen that one yet.
She's actually one of the first Indian actresses for Disney, actually. She's been in a bunch of Disney stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention Princess, played by Lana Condor. She's in that show Deadly Class, which we just started watching. She is the Japanese assassin girl with the little bob. She's kind of like the main love interest. She was also Jubilee in X-Men Apocalypse, which I thought was really cool. And she was in my favorite adaptation,
Jubilee was in it.
Alita Battle Angel.
I totally forgot Jubilee was even
Yeah.
in that movie. I'm like, her role was too small if I don't remember Jubilee was in it.
And the last one is
Why did we play in Jubilee?
Zoe
I want
and
some live action Jubilee.
Yeah, right?
I know it's off topic, but I'm just saying.
I know, I'm saying.
Live action
Jubilee. Come on.
Look it up.
Bring it up. Zoe is the last girl, and she's played by Iris Apatow. And if that name sounds familiar to you, yes, that is the daughter of Judd Apatow. So little bit of a nipple baby, but she did a good job in this. I think they all did a great
those
job.
Connections. If I had connections, I would use them. No, like
Exactly.
I can't even front.
Exactly.
If my cousin was a famous something, well, hey cuz, you know
what? Make it happen. What's good? So all of that being said, it's a simple plot. We don't need to go into any more detail. Watch the movie and you'll get to see what the heck we're talking about. In the meantime, I apologize if my voice is a little rough. I'm getting over a really bad respiratory infection. I also have asthma, which complicates things and makes me more prone, unfortunately, to respiratory infections. So I'm recovering, but I'm there, and I'm going to be ready for my show on Saturday. Yeah. Look at their teens. Let's go. But all that being said, we like to rate via chainsaw here, with 5 chainsaws being a cinematic masterpiece of horror. One chainsaw, well, you're not getting through this ballet shoe with that thing, okay? It's not doing anything. So how many chainsaws do you give to 2026's Pretty Lethal?
I'm gonna give Pretty Lethal a 3.5 out of 5 chainsaws.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty cool movie. I like the concept. I like where what she was thinking about. You know, how turning dancers into potential like fighters and stuff. I think that's a great concept. It was cool to see Uma Thurman again. There were definitely some cool moments when they were fighting and some cool like kills and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they definitely utilized all of their dancing skill and flexibility and stuff. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's not something that I've quite seen. It wasn't quite like a home run for me, but I still enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a really cool action movie, and it's not like the biggest blockbuster of an action movie, but I still think it's really cool, and it's still worth your time. It's still worth the watch, especially if you're not sure what to look at, if you need something on in the background or whatever, you know. It's a really cool concept, and it's really nice to see Uma Thurman again, you know? So Rose, what are you gonna give this one?
I think I will give it, also, let me see. I'm gonna give it 4. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think this was a very ambitious idea.
Yeah.
And I love it. I especially love the scene where she has like a blade coming out of her freaking point shoe.
Yeah, that's good.
That was very, very cool. I was like super, super into that. Is it wildly improbable that people would be able to fight like this? Absolutely. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept. They're like pirouetting and doing all of this stuff and going on point, which is like so painful and so ridiculous to be doing in the middle of a fight. But did it look super cool? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I loved it. It was so fun. Of course, I'm rooting for a bunch of bloody ballerinas. Come on. It was fun. I had a good time with it. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it. I think that the dance scenes were done well. All of these actresses had a stunt double, and they also had a ballet double. And some of them, like I said, did have some prior dance experience, so they look a lot more believable and nice in their lines. Some of them were a little bit easier for me to clock as not really being a dancer body. But you know what? Kudos to these girls, because they worked hard to try to pull this off. There are some very, very cool moves that they do in the big battle at the end, which is awesome. And I had so much. I was like, okay, what are they going to do with this one? Oh, how are they? And they actually really did try to think about that. Like, how could we
Yeah.
make these movements that are common in ballet and incorporate them into this fight scene, and what would make sense here and stuff like
I
that.
think that this is a cool concept that you could, if you want, and this is just if you wanted to make these fights better, more believable, more vicious. I love the ballet dancers, but the ballet dancers would need just a little bit more actual combat training. And I think the combining of the two, the dancer into like martial artists, bringing them together as one would be fully realized. Like I see where they're going,
Yeah.
and they were close. They were real close with a lot of the stuff, and it's still cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away from it. I'm just saying they could knock it up. But like this same concept, I think there's
It
a
would be
little bit of
really-
room for improvement.
It would be really cool to see like a Hong Kong style kung fu movie with ballerinas like this,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the women are all trained dancers and trained martial artists.
Exactly.
That would be the freaking end of me. I would die. I would be
yep.
watching that movie
But
constantly.
I feel like it's coming. This movie
Yeah,
has
I think
been
this
made,
opens the door
and this
for a
opens
lot
the
of
door
stuff. Yeah,
for just who
for
knows
sure.
what now. So
For
you
sure,
know,
and the girls are really cute. Uma Thurman is great. She's having fun chewing up the scenery and being a bad bitch. It's awesome to see her on the screen, and you can tell that like it was just fun. It's fun. It's not like, it's not a super complicated film, and it doesn't have to be. The concept alone is enough to sell this little ballerina right here. Okay.
you have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. That's gonna be all from us today. Once again, we are from the band Cut Like This. Like, subscribe, follow. We have music and merch. You know where to find us.
You know where to go.
That's all for today.
Be on my twinkle toes over here.
Are
Out.